Back in March, I made a video about possible future tramways in Sydney. I always wanted to do a similar video for future railways, so here we are. Before we start, a quick disclaimer. Obviously, not all of these projects are planned, let alone funded. These are my ideas with some influence from the likes of the Future Transport Strategy and other previous plans. For each route, I will discuss the benefits of construction as either conventional Sydney Trains double-decker, driverless metro, or a hybrid of the two. Hi there, it's 11 o'clock at night as I record this bit, and I'm in the middle of editing. This is the first video I'm making with a new editing software, which is a lot more clunky, and previously simple tasks take much longer to execute. Over time, I'll adjust my processes to best match the new software, but at the moment, I'm still figuring it all out. So please do excuse any rough edges, particularly in text fades and line animations. I hope it's still up to scratch, and fingers crossed I learn it quickly. Alright, back to the video. Currently, 2.5 lines are under construction. The first to open will be the 14-kilometre conversion of the Bankstown line between Sydenham and Bankstown, with 10 converted stations to be added to the M1 line. This is due to open in late 2025, but I see quite a high likelihood of this being delayed into 2026. I've made a full video exploring the designs of the converted stations, now in the top right of your screen. In late 2026, coinciding with the opening of the Western Sydney Airport, Metro Western Sydney Airport will add 23 kilometres of railway between St Mary's and Bradfield, with 5 new stations and a larger interchange at St Mary's. I've also made a video exploring the designs for the non-airport stations, again in the top right. Finally, in 2032, hopefully, Metro West will open, with 8, or 9 or 10 new stations, depending on whether the government adds any between Parramatta and Olympic Park or not, and upgrades to Westmead and North Strathfield on its 24-kilometre route. Altogether, 61 kilometres of new railway is under construction. The 2023-24 state budget allocated $60 million towards the extension of Metro WSA. If this came to fruition, it would likely include a tunnelled northern extension from St Mary's to the T1 and T5 at Schofields, stopping in Marsden Park and possibly also somewhere in the vague Ropes crossing area. At the same time, it is likely that the existing Northwest line would be extended from Tallawong to Schofields on a surface alignment, creating a 3-way interchange. St Mary's to Schofields would almost certainly be built as an extension of Western Sydney Airport, not Northwest, as its shorter trains require smaller, and cheaper, station boxes, and its high-voltage AC electrification requires less substations. A southern extension is also on the cards, with a route reserved seemingly on a surface alignment from Bradfield to Leppington and Oran Park. The section from Bradfield to Rossmore should be built as an expansion of the Sydney train system, allowing easier access to the airport from South Sydney via the existing South West Rail link. In the long term, double-deckers should be extended to the airport terminal only, and alongside full quadruplication of the East Hills line, express trains with dedicated rolling stock could be introduced between here and the Sydney CBD, opening the airport up to a much larger area of Sydney. The leg to Oran Park and beyond should be built as an extension of Western Sydney Airport, again to make use of cheaper station boxes and overhead electrification. At present, not much exists between Bradfield and Oran Park, but space could be left for an infill station if Bradfield grows. From Oran Park, a tunnel would eventually take the line to Campbelltown, allowing connection to the airport from the Southern Highlands. This could possibly include a surface station and a small yard, and between here and Oran Park, stations could include Macarthur and Narellan. A number of routes are identified in the Future Transport Strategy, and a few of these have further reports available. The most advanced of these is the new Cumberland line, full video in the top right, between Parramatta and Epping, also tying in with the aforementioned extension from Leppington. This would benefit from being a hybrid system. See the full video for an explanation. Stations could include Parramatta Square, with possible paid interchanges to both Metro West and the existing Parramatta station, North Parramatta, and Carlingford before Epping. The other advanced line is Norwest to Miranda, cutting through the centre of Sydney. This would run from Norwest stopping possibly at Balcombe Hills, Winston Hills, Westmead Hospital, Parramatta Square and South Granville, before running on the remainder of the Bankstown line between Birrong and Bankstown, now part of the T6. A possible interchange could be built at Regent's Park. From Bankstown, the line would again jump to tunnels through Roselands, an interchange with the T8 at Kingsgrove, Bexley, an interchange with the T4 at Cogra, Sans Souci, and an interchange with the Cronulla branch of the T4 at Miranda. This line would provide many orbital connections, as well as providing a new direct route to Parramatta for much of the northwest and southeast. It could shorten journey times to the city from Cronulla with a new shortcut between Cogra and Miranda, as well as opening up new areas to higher order transport and having the potential to support tens of thousands of new well-placed homes. I think this would benefit from being driverless. The stub of the Bankstown line would benefit from being taken out of the current four-way junction at Sefton, which could be made a simple triangle, with the South Sydney Freight Line, Metropolitan Goods Line, and the main South Line. The interchange at Regent's Park would allow connection to Lidcombe or Liverpool. Removing this section from Sydney trains would reduce interlining and operational complexity, and allow rolling stock to be moved elsewhere, improving other services. Existing railway land in Sefton could house a yard, and the abundant industrial land in Sefton, Bankstown and Kingsgrove could house a depot. Another cross-Sydney line takes the form of the Macquarie to Kingsgrove line. This has, to my knowledge, no publicly available reports, so the details are all guesswork. The same is true for everything else after this. From Macquarie Park, the line would run through Ryde and have an interchange at Rhodes, a rebuilt station here potentially including a fourth train platform for a future up-north suburban. It would then deviate to serve Olympic Park, before running through Enfield to Campsie and Kingsgrove. A depot could probably be built in the vast swathes of railway land at Enfield or Chullora. This should definitely be built as a metro, as it is fully grade separated and standalone. The plan also calls for extensions to Metros Southwest and West. From Hunter Street, a line would run south, potentially through Darlinghurst, Moore Park, Randwick, Maroubra, Malabar and La Perouse. This could tie in with an extension of the L3 light rail line from Juniors Kingsford to La Perouse in the large median of Anzac Parade. From Randwick, a branch would head west, stopping at Kingsford or UNSW, East Lakes, Sydney Airport, Brighton Le Sands and Cogra. From Westmead, the line would turn southwest, running, one would hope, in a partly surface, partly tunnelled alignment through suburbs like Pemulwuy, Wetherell Park and Abbotsbury, before crossing the nothingness to Western Sydney Airport and Bradfield. This would become the primary method of reaching the airport for much of Sydney, and would cross Sydney's largest railway dead zone. Finally, from Bankstown, a tunnel would extend under Condell Park, Bankstown Airport and Chipping Norton to Liverpool. This has been downgraded in priority due to engineering challenges in tunnelling through the very boggy area. I have some ideas of my own for future projects. The simplest is a single station extension of the T4 to Bondi Beach, providing higher order transport to one of Sydney's greatest landmarks. As I discussed at length in a previous video, I would also like to see a metro line built through Mossman and up to the northern beaches to reduce car dependency in the area. See the top right for more information about that. Finally, I'd build two tunnels that not many people think about. First, I'd like to see a waterfall to Thirroul tunnel. This would bypass a very steep, windy and slow part of the south coastline, shaving about 20 minutes off the journey time between Sydney and Wollongong, and along with broader improvements such as quadruplication, could see a vastly improved service between the cities. It could also allow improved service to the coastal towns, now that their local trains need not compete with expresses. Freight, due to diesel exhaust, would need to keep using the old line. The other tunnel is one from Brooklyn to Cowan. In much the same way, bypassing the Cowan Bank would shave minutes off the journey time and allow expresses to pass freight and local trains. The entire corridor, however, really does need a dedicated high-speed line, unlike Sydney to Wollongong. Those are the railways I'd like to see built in Sydney over the coming decades. It'll be interesting, if not slightly depressing, to see how much of this actually gets built. I haven't discussed freight or high-speed lines, as these deserve full videos in their own right. Thanks for watching. Let me know your ideas in the comments. As always, thanks to my channel members for their ongoing support.